Hi, I'm Hattie Hale. Today I'm doing a speech of why I think hunting should remain to be legal. Um, Many people know or have heard about the organization known as PETA. Most know them from the food industry, but they are also known for trying to fix issues like hunting. There are several other organizations against hunting, but they all have one thing in common, which are believing that hunting is cruel. A lot of people tend to get confused between the difference in hunting and poaching. Even though it is no longer exactly necessary to hunt for survival or as a sport, people still do, and because of this, there are certain laws that you have to abide to as a hunter. Poachers, on the other hand, just hunt to kill or take certain parts of an animal to sell them on the black market for money. Poaching is ruining the name and game of hunting, and because of that, organizations like PETA attack hunters because they have the wrong impression of hunting. PETA argues that hunting is often called a sport as a way to pass off cruel, needless killing spree as a social acceptance, wholesome activity, but I beg to differ. Just like any other sport, time, dedication, and practice is put into hunting. It is most definitely not a spree because it can take weeks before you even get a shot at your target. Real hunters actually hunt their prey. They study their prey and learn its behaviors, habits, and tracks before the harvest takes place. A spree, on the other hand, by dictionary, is a spell or sustained period, unrestrained activity or of a particular kind. This, in fact, is false when referring to hunting as a spree. Yes, it is within a certain time period that you can hunt specific animals, but while hunting, there are certain requirements and restrictions you have to follow, which contradicts the unrestrained activity statement. First of all, in order to even go hunting, you have to get a hunting license, which requires each individual to take a hunter's education safety course to ensure that the person behind the gun is qualified. After that background check is made before purchasing a gun, then you have to learn to aim and shoot and at different distances with a steady hand, which takes a lot of practice before someone actually gets really good. On top of that, with a license, you have certain tags for specific animals you can hunt during those seasons. When purchasing a license, this actually is helping conservations. Believe it or not, in Idaho, more than half of conservation's funds come from fishing and hunting. And according to Texas Wildlife Management, hunters alone have contributed over $5.5 billion for conservations in less than 60 years. They also believe that people would actually be more accepting to hunters if they knew who was picking up the bill from the conservations. That's referring to the hunters. Another way hunters help out conservations is with population control. Population control is called culling. Now the culling of white-tailed deer here in America is very simple, especially on big game ranches. A cull buck is normally 3 to 3.5 years old that has reached its maximum antler length. The ranch managers do not want these bucks reproducing, so they cull them out. This can be done with does as well, but much more simpler. If you have way too many does in the population, then you must cull them out. The does that get culled out are normally to be big, mature does, so ages around like 4 years or older. The culling process in Africa is simple as well, but a lot of people disagree with it. Let's say if a lion was sick and it was getting culled out because they don't want the rest of the lion population getting infected as well. Also, if they're old, starving, in other words, on the verge of dying, they will have culled out as well. This is the method used with lions, elephants, and kangaroos and deer. Culling in Africa brings a lot of money to the conservations all around Africa. It also puts food on the table for villages around where the animals are harvested. Culling animals in Africa is a huge part of how the conservation makes their money, and money is used to help grow the national conservations to hold more of these animals and help save them from the poachers. Population control is a crucial piece of all sport hunting. From population control of white-tailed deer in the U.S. to controlling the population of lions in Africa. Culling all these different types of animals doesn't always mean they are just killed off. Most of the meats are saved and eaten by different individuals. For example, with big game ranches around Texas, when they do not want or need any more of the meat that has been culled out, they will give the local game warden a call. The game warden will bring all the paperwork that is necessary to legally hand these deer over to another person. It is illegal to sell game meat person to person, so most of the time the big ranchers will donate the rest of the culled meats to programs like Hunters for Hungry, which is an organization that gives food to the homeless shelters around that area. After the game warden picks up and fills out the paperwork that is necessary, he or she will then take the meat to the processor where they will distribute the meat to the hungry. Many people get the wrong impression of hunters because of many organizations and miscommunications between poachers and hunting. By stating the facts about hunting how hunting actually helps, like for conservations, feeding the hungry, and population control, this will hopefully break the stereotypes that hunting is cruel and that people use it as used to go on a hunting spree. Hunting is not an issue. Poachers are the ones really bringing a bad name to the sport. By presenting this speech, I hope I gave you all a different view on hunting and express the good that actually comes out of it, opposed to the people who poach.